You were sitting in a paper gown, and the surgeon just said the word necessary. Not urgent, not optional, necessary. Your knee has been failing for 2 years, and today someone with a medical degree finally agreed. You should feel relief. You mostly feel the cold vinyl on the back of your legs. The surgeon smiles and says the surgery is booked for the 12th. Insurance is just a formality, she says. They approve these all the time.
You are going to be just fine.
This is not a story about the future. This is the next 90 days of your life. Your body has a window, and a machine you will never meet is about to decide whether it closes. Your mission is simple, and it is almost impossible. Get the surgery you were promised before the thing that denied you runs out the clock. Remember the word formality. You will hear it again. The next 2 weeks are boringly good. You tell your sister at dinner, and she cries into her wine, and then laughs about crying into her wine. You start sleeping on your back so the knee doesn't wake you. You buy a shower chair for the recovery, and it feels almost fun, like packing for a trip. A guy at work who had the same surgery last year shows you the scar like a trophy. Best decision I ever made, he says. You'll be walking the dog in 6 weeks. You believe him. You already named the dog you don't have yet. Your surgeon's office sets up the paperwork. It's called prior authorization. Your insurer has to sign off before the hospital will book the room. Normal. Everyone does it. You log into the insurance portal to check the status. It's a clean little app, all soft blue and rounded corners. There's a friendly banner at the top. Decisions you can trust. 97% accurate. You like that number. 97%. That's an A. You'd take a surgeon with a 97% record. The status says submitted. Under it, a tiny cheerful line. Most decisions are rendered in under 1 minute. You smile at that. Fast service. You close the app. Your sister asks, what happens if they say no? They won't, you tell her. It's a formality. You believe it because your doctor believes it, because the app is soft blue and says 97%. 3 days later, the status changes. It doesn't say approved. It doesn't say denied. It says under review, and there is a small red dot next to it you have never seen before. You tell yourself a dot is just a dot. You are wrong about the dot. The letter comes on a Tuesday. It's a thick envelope, which you think is a good sign, because thick means detail. The return address calls it an explanation of benefits. You will come to hate that word, explanation, for how little it explains. You open it standing at the kitchen counter with your coffee going cold. It is not detail. It is the same paragraph, 4 times, in slightly different words. Your request does not meet medical necessity criteria at this time. You read it again. You read it a third time, out loud, as if hearing your own voice will make it mean something else. Your knee is failing. A surgeon said necessary, and a letter says it isn't. At the very bottom, there's a signature, a name. Reviewed by M. Reyes, clinical reviewer. You feel something loosen in your chest. A person. There's a person. People can be reasoned with. You call the number on the letter. You are on hold for 40 minutes. The hold music loops a soft piano version of a song you almost recognize. A kind voice finally answers, and she is genuinely sorry, and she cannot tell you why you were denied, because the criteria are proprietary. So I can appeal a decision, you say slowly. But I can't see the reason for it. That's correct, she says. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. Is there anything else I can help you with today? The machine is never rude. That's the part nobody warns you about. It gives you a case number. It thanks you for your patience. It hopes you have a wonderful afternoon. You file the appeal. You attach the surgeon's notes, the imaging, the 2 years of failing. You are told someone will review it. You picture Amareus at a desk, reading your file with a cup of tea. Then you go back to the surgeon's office, and a nurse named Dana looks at your letter, and her face does a thing you don't like. Hang on, she says. She opens a drawer. She pulls out a folder that is much too thick. Inside are dozens of letters. Same font, same paragraph, same 4 repetitions of the same sentence, different patients, different diseases, the same words. We've gotten 30 of these this month, Dana says. Same wording every time. She lowers her voice, even though it's her own office. It's not you, it's the algorithm. She shows you one from a woman 2 towns over, a hip, denied. Then one from a man in his 70s, a heart valve, denied. Same sentence about medical necessity criteria, printed the same way, as if a single hand wrote all three. Half of them get overturned, Dana says. If people appeal, most people don't. They just pay or they give up. She closes the drawer like it's heavy. That's when you start reading at night instead of sleeping. You learn a phrase you didn't know 2 weeks ago. Post-service denial. You learn that appeals like yours are overturned most of the time when a human finally looks. You learn there is a name in the lawsuits for the kind of system that may have scored you. It is called NH Predict. You learn that the model doesn't decide if you are sick. It predicts how long care should take and flags anything past the line. It was never asking whether you need a new knee. It was asking whether you cost too much. You learn you have a right to an external review, where an independent doctor looks at your file. You learn it can take 30 to 60 days. You read that twice. Your window is measured in days. Their process is measured in months. And nobody in the process has to hurry because none of them are the one on the stairs. You call again. You ask politely to speak with Monsieur Reyes. You want the person, you want the tea and the desk. There is a long pause. Then the rep tells you, carefully, that Monsieur Reyes handles a very high volume of cases. You ask what high volume means. She doesn't answer. So you ask the only question that matters. In one day, how many people does Monsieur Reyes review? She won't say. But she doesn't say a small number. She doesn't say it's small. You do the math yourself later. If one reviewer signs off on hundreds of denials a day, there is no reading. There is no tea. There is a name at the bottom of a letter, so the letter has a human on it. Reyes is not a doctor with your file. Reyes is a signature the machine borrows. And then your knee gives out on the stairs, and you sit on the landing for 10 minutes, and you understand that the window is not a metaphor. It is closing while you hold. The surgery was booked for the 12th, it is now the 6th, and you finally see the shape of the whole thing. The system doesn't have to say no forever. It only has to say, not yet, until your body says it for them. So here is where the story stops, and I talk to you. Your knee is failing. A surgeon said necessary. A machine said wait, and a human, whose name you'll never really reach, signed off in 11 seconds. You have 2 doors, and only 2. Behind the first door, you fight clean. You keep appealing. You file the complaint with the state. You wait for the reversal your doctor swears is coming, and you pray it comes before the window shuts. It might not. You keep your dignity, and you gamble your body. Behind the second door, you stop waiting. You max the cards. You start the fundraiser. You pay for the surgery yourself, right now, and you fight for the money back later. You save your knee. You take on the debt for care you were already owed. And you only get out because you can pay. One door risks your body. The other risks your future and quietly proves the machine works. Before I tell you what you did, what would you do? Comment A or B. You pick the second door. Most people who can do. You put $12,000 on a credit card and the rest on a fundraiser your sister shares at midnight, crying again, differently this time. Strangers you'll never meet send $15, $20, a note that says, "We've been there." The hospital takes the money in 11 seconds. The same 11 seconds it took to deny you. Funny how fast everything moves once you're paying. The surgery happens on the 12th, exactly as promised. You wake up in recovery with a new knee and a warm blanket and $40,000 of debt. And for 1 clean hour, you don't care. You did it. You beat it. Your sister visits the next morning with terrible hospital flowers and the best face you've ever seen. She asks if it's really over. You say yes. You are lying, and you both know it, and you let each other have the lie for one more day. Then, healing on your couch, you open the portal one last time to start the reimbursement fight, and you see it, the banner, 97% accurate. And it lands. 97% accurate across millions of claims still means hundreds of thousands of people who were right and got a letter that said no. You weren't a glitch. You were the 3% the system was built to accept. The accuracy was never a promise to you. It was a budget. The reviewer read your file in 11 seconds because 11 seconds was always the plan. The name at the bottom was a human alibi for a decision no human made. And the way out, the door you took, the credit cards, and the fundraiser, that was the trap. You didn't beat the machine. You paid it to leave you alone. Everyone who couldn't pay is still holding on the stairs. The portal pings. Your appeal is under review. Thank you for your patience. Let me pull us out of the story now. That system is not science fiction. It's the next version of tools already in use right now. Insurers have deployed AI models to flag and deny care, and one of them, named in class action lawsuits against United Health, is called NH Predict. Plaintiffs allege denials with error rates so high that most were reversed when a human finally looked. A court has ordered the company to hand over internal documents due in 2026. The thing the story was really about is not evil, it's speed. When a decision that used to take a trained person an hour now takes 11 seconds, the human in the loop becomes a signature, not a judgment. The denial isn't a medical opinion, it's a delay, and delay is a no that never has to say the word. So I'll leave you with the question the letter never answers. If 97% accurate is good enough to trust, who agreed to be the 3%? The turning point already happened. You just weren't watching